Shalom. Kal halalim la Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakodash. Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahweh Shai. Dawada Yahweh, Dawada Yahweh Shai. All praises, honor, glory, blessings, and power be unto Abanoah Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakodash. Yahweh is the Most High's name. Yahweh Shai is his son's name. Bahashem means in the name. Abanoah means father. Okay. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the prophets of that body. Okay, they are the mouthpiece of Yahweh Bashim Shai on this planet Earth. And shalom to the 144,001/3. May peace and blessings be upon your households. And the spirit of endurance. Now, okay, as we're approaching the end, you're going to see these little scuffles happen here and there, all different parts of the world, which is going to be ultimately combining every single country, for the most part, engulfed in World War III. Right? World War III has already begun with the Russia-Ukraine thing, and with the gas lines and all these other little scuffles here and there, these skirmishes around the world. Now, it hasn't gone to full throttle, full scale yet, but it's getting there. See, the so-called white man is a meticulous record keeper and likes to follow suit with regard to their plans, how they want to do things. India was a stronghold, a cash cow for these Edomites, these crackers, these thieves, these murderers, these enslavers. For 300 years, they ruled over India. Okay, dividing it up, cutting up into like a piece of cake. All right, to different provinces. All right, in different parts, ruling over different parts of the world. They ruled over 120 different provinces, countries around the world. Right? They stole from every place. This is how they got their wealth. That's how the white man became so-called rich. Then they call the countries they stole from shithole countries. But that's another subject. They've made it into shithole countries by destroying it. Right? Now, when the so-called white man was told to leave India, all right, it was the Israelite foreigners from northern India, the Punjab area. Punjab is a state. Punjab means the land of 5 rivers. Punj means 5. Ab means river, land of 5 rivers. All right, it's on the border of Persia. It's a big stronghold there for Jake, and those are most of the freedom fighters for India. All right, I know because I'm an Israelite foreigner, where my family hails from that part. So I know who's Jake. Okay, it's the spirit of Jake. I can tell. My people, my forefathers, the Israelites are. Jake is just like that. All right, they were the Nat Turners. Okay, in a different body, so to speak. Men of color, but you know what I mean, right? And they were the freedom fighters that got these crackers out of India. But who got all the praise? That faggot Gandhi, that bald-headed Elamite, homo, bag. All right. But nevertheless, once they were told to leave, they caused communal violence. That communal violence was caused with throwing pigs in mosques and cows in Hindu temples and desecrating churches and other in other sort of places of worship, so to speak. All right, not that I'm for Islam or Hinduism or wacky tacky Christianity. Fuck them as well. All right, but I'm just saying this is how they cause communal violence amongst the common folk. So then Punjab was cut into half, and half of it, and mind you, this is a state. Half of that state was turned into a country called Pakistan. And Pakistan, that means Pak means pure, Istan means land. So it's basically pure land. That's what it means. That's what it's called. And that was a majority Muslim stronghold. All right. Now, there's been parts. Bangladesh was also cut up. Now Kashmir, which is a very, it's like known as the Switzerland of India. I mean, India's got some really beautiful parts. If you've ever been there, you will know. Right. I've been there a couple of times. I've not seen all of it. All right. It's a very beautiful part of the world. A lot of Israelites up there. All right, it's the real Orient, the real East. A lot of Israelites up there, but a lot of Elam too, and a lot of Edomites that look brown, and a lot of literal Edomites too that with a pigskin. Okay, now this they're saying that more than 20 were deleted or unalived after gunmen opened fire on tourists in Indian administered Kashmir. Right, Pakistan saying that it's theirs, they want it, blah blah blah. It's a back and forth situation, right? So there's still, people in the world, India, wants Pakistan back, and or Pakistan wants parts of India that are close to it or whatever, and that have got certain, historical ties, either related to Islam or mosques. Because remember, the Turks and the Arabs invaded India many times, many times, and they used to kidnap all the beautiful women and put them in chains and take them away and take slaves away as well. And so that part of the world, India, has been attacked and raped or graped many times, physically, spiritually, mentally, financially, in every way. Okay, so whatever ties they have, they're saying they want it back. So therefore, you've got these little skirmishes, these groups, whether it's all done by the so-called white man or the powers that be, right? It's all done by Yahweh Bashim Rashai at the end of the day. All right. And let's just read. And this is going to lead, you're going to see these little scuffles and skirmishes happen all different parts of the world, which is going to lead to full scale World War III, and it's getting there. Hence the reason we're approaching month 6. All right. We're approaching halfway through the year. You think things are going to stay static? You think so? You think the water's not going to move? You think that water's just going to sit there and flies are going to come on it? It's not going to move. That water's going to move, man. What I'm trying to say is basically things are going to happen. It's not going to be just like stale water just sitting there. Things are going to get moving. All right. At least 24 people have been unalived after gunmen opened fire on a group of domestic tourists visiting a popular beauty spot in Indian administered Kashmir, authorities have told the BBC. That took the attack took place in Pahalgam, a picturesque town in the Himalayas, often described as the Switzerland of India. Right. The region's chief minister Omar Abdullah said the attack was much larger than anything we've seen directed at civilians in recent years. Reports suggest that there are a large number of wounded, with some in critical condition. US President Donald Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin, and EU Chief Ursula von der Leyen were among world leaders who condemned the attacks. The biggest murderers in the world, so-called Americans and Russians, these Edomites, these crackers, have got some nerve talking about, condemning the attacks. And they're known for nothing but bloodshed and theft, enslavement. Deeply disturbing news out of Kashmir. The United States stands strong with India against terrorism, Trump said in a post on Truth Social. Well, they all in together, man. We know what's going down. You got to read in between the lines. Deeply disturbing news out of Kashmir. The United States stands strong with India against terrorism, Trump said in the post. Truth Social. Von der Leyen called the Kashmir deaths a vile terrorist attack, while Putin expressed sincere condolences for the consequences of a brutal crime. Remember one thing: when things always go down, the prime minister or the president is never in the country, or they're in a different part and they're acting absolutely oblivious to the situation. Remember when the Twin Towers were hit? Where was that? What's that guy's name, man? Bush. Where was he? Wasn't he in some school trying to pretend to read a storybook? Which I bet he can't even read anyway. Right? Acting all oblivious. Oh, did the Twin Towers get hit? Right? Sitting on the opposite side of the country. Because America is such a huge landmass. And where was Narendra Modi? Narendra Modi, the Elamite. Where was he? In Saudi Arabia. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who cut short his trip to Saudi Arabia in the wake of the attack, said that perpetrators will be brought to justice. Pakistan's foreign ministry said it was concerned at the loss of tourists' lives and expressed condolences to the victims and wished the injured a speedy recovery. Tuesday's attack is Tuesday's attack is unusual in that in 3.5 decades of conflict, tourists have rarely been targeted, especially on such a scale. See, with India and Pakistan, they've always had wars, over the 60s and 70s, their own skirmishes in the east. I'm not going to go into that now, but they've always been going back and forth, and they don't really like each other. There's a great hatred between India and Pakistan. That's why a lot of East Indians call India Pakistan. They make fun of them. You know, uh, that's what they say, right? Um, the region's Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha said the army and police had been deployed to the scene. Let's see if there's anything crucial else I need to read. That makes sense. Okay. Since the 1990s, an armed separatist insurgency against Indian rule in the region has claimed tens of thousands of lives, including those of civilians and security forces. The Himalayan region was divided following India's independence from Britain, partition, and creation of Pakistan in 1947. That's where it starts. As soon as the country is cut up again. The two nuclear armed states, now that's crucial, the two nuclear armed states both claim the region in its entirety and have fought two wars and a limited conflict over it in the decades since. That's the wars I was talking about. Basically, India, they're both the same, they're the one country in the same, right? And they're both armed. So basically, India is double armed if you think about it, right? Some 500,000 Indian soldiers are permanently deployed in the territory. The last major attack on civilians occurred in June 2024 when 9 people were killed and 33 injured after militants opened fire on a bus carrying Hindu pilgrims. They've got to check that 33 and they don't, they're 9. After militants opened fire on a bus carrying Hindu pilgrims. In 2019, a suicide bombing in Indian administered Kashmir killed at least 46 soldiers and prompted Indian airstrikes on targets in Pakistan. Around 3.5 million tourists visited Kashmir in 2024, according to official figures. Okay, and that's the backstory of Kashmir. And now let's see what CNN is saying.
Weapons. India launching one of the world's most dangerous flashpoints is erupting. It involves neighboring countries that are both armed with nuclear weapons. India launching a missile attack on Pakistan, a move that Pakistan is labeling an act of war. Now, India says that military operation was targeting what it calls, quote, terrorist infrastructure, as Pakistan is saying the attack largely harmed civilians. The world has been watching this region incredibly closely after things began to flare up 2 weeks ago when dozens of people, mostly tourists, were killed in what India described as a terror attack, blaming Pakistan for backing the gunmen. That is something that Islamabad has denied. And in the meantime, what we are learning tonight is Pakistan is telling CNN officials there that its forces have shot down 5 Indian Air Force aircraft and a drone in response to the missile attack.
Beginning to get more of an assessment on the ground, which is what officials tell us they're doing. 8 people killed, 35 injured among the dead, a 3-year-old girl, a 16-year-old girl, and an 18-year-old boy. Women also among the casualties. This is the deepest strike that India has made into Pakistan in more than 50 years, since the two countries fought a large war back in 1971.
See, as we're approaching the end, what did the Edomite say? He goes, "This is the most heaviest attack India has ever done on Pakistan since 1971. Why is this happening? Because we're approaching the end, and this is going to go into full-scale nuclear strikes very soon. And not just these countries being attacked. America is going to be blown off the map. Okay, as well as other parts of the world being hit, but America is going to be decimated, never to exist. I mean, never to be inhabited again by human beings.
Pakistani military say that it is civilians that have been hit. They say mosques have been hit. And for this reason, that when I was speaking with a Pakistani soldiers fought a large war back in, this is the deepest strike that India has made into Pakistan.
He said the deepest strike.
That India has made into Pakistan in more than 50 years, since the two countries fought a large war back in 1971. The Pakistani military said women also among the casualties. This is the deepest strike that India has made into Pakistan in more than 50 years, since the two countries fought a large war back in 1971. The Pakistani military say that it is civilians that have been hit. They say mosques have been hit. And for this reason, that when I was speaking with a Pakistani security source earlier this evening, he said that the fact that India had hit deep inside Pakistan proper, as well as inside Pakistan administered Kashmir, the fact that women and children were casualties, that religious places had been hit, meant that there was more pressure on the Pakistani government and military to respond more forcefully. Our cameraman here, Javed, lives on the outskirts of Islamabad. About 5 hours ago, his house shook when the explosions happened not far from where he lives. The explosions in the capital of Kashmir, Muzaffarabad, local CNN journalist there told us that they shook the whole town, that people came out on the streets, were running in panic, didn't know what to do. There is a power outage there at the moment.
There you go. Let's see if there's anything else to read. Stated Wednesday, 7th of May. Okay. There's quite a few journalists there, different nationalities. Here's what's happening. Deadly missile attack. India said its Operation Sindoor struck terrorist infrastructure in both Pakistan and Pakistan-administered Kashmir, a major escalation pushing their rivaling neighbors to the brink of full-scale war. Pakistan said the attack killed at least 8 people, including children. Down planes. Pakistan said it shot down 5 Indian Air Force jets and a drone. India has not confirmed the fighter jet losses. Pakistan security sources said 3 of the 5 planes downed were Rafale fighter jets, prized assets of the Indian Air Force bought from a French manufacturer. Tourist massacre. Wednesday's escalation comes after gunmen massacred 26 civilians, as we just looked at the other article, mostly tourists, in Indian-controlled Kashmir. It's Indian-controlled Kashmir, so Pakistan apparently, allegedly, did their thing in Indian-controlled Kashmir last month. India accused Pakistan of being involved, which Islamabad denied. Kashmir dispute India, which has a Hindu majority, and Pakistan, which is mostly Muslim, each control parts of Kashmir but claim it in full and have fought 3 wars over the territory. Okay. And there's going to be one more to come now, one big one. You can say whatever you want, okay, in terms of who's doing what. We know there's agents involved on both sides. The so-called white man has brought people here and there, you know what I mean? Like, to cause these skirmishes, to even amplify certain violences. So many people died, blah, blah, blah. Shit, they could even use dummies as to show people that have been deleted. Whatever. I'm just thinking out loud, all right? We know what the powers of be do, okay? Especially with AI technology as well. I'm not saying anything with regards to this, but I'm just saying on the general consensus as well. You've got to read in between the lines. Ultimately, this is all being staged. The stage is being set for leading to full-scale war. Now, I'm not saying things haven't happened. Things have happened, right? But we know it's all of Yahweh Bashim Shai, and however Yahweh Bashim Shai does it, whether he's put in place agents on both sides to make these things happen, or he's just directly, you know, did it a different way in terms of having those literal people attack different parts of the world, or different, or literally have Muslim Pakistanis attack Indian Kashmir, and India attack Pakistan back. However, the Lord did it. The Lord is doing it, pursuant to Isaiah 45, verse 7. All right, let's go to a couple of scriptures now. Revelation 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. All right, you can talk about Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister. Is it Prime Minister, right? Yeah, is it Prime Minister? Yeah. Prime Minister, Minister, whatever he is, the head of state, so to speak. Right? All these people answer to Trump, man. All of them are collectively involved. All right. You think these Elamites don't know who's coming to rule next? These Ishmaelites, these Edomites, these Moabites, these Ammonites, these heathen nations don't know who's going to rule next. They know about you, Jake. They know about you. All right. They ain't going to say it, but they know about us Israelites. All right. They know about the Israelite foreigners. That's why me, as an Israelite foreigner, I know what the East Indian government, the Elamite government, is doing to Jake over there. All right. Because I've seen it. All right. But I'm not going to touch on that now. All right. But these Elamites know. These Edomites know. These other nations answer to Trump. They answer to these Edomites. Okay. Because they have the power in their hand. All right. And they're all collectively involved, just like Psalms 83, where they try to cut us off from being a nation. Now they're doing whatever they can to, to hold on to their power. All right. Okay. They're doing whatever they can to hold on to their power. And ultimately, they want World War III because they want it, because they want to destroy and rebuild. Okay. They want their new world order. That's what they want. Okay. Because they know as well, Trump knows that America's not going to go on forever. It's not going to be bright lights, big city forever. You know, they know. Revelation 11:14. The second woe. Woe means destruction. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right. World War I and World War II is also mentioned in the scriptures in the book of Revelation. Let's go there as well, so you know what time it is. Woe 1 and Woe 2, book of Revelations, King James Version. Revelation 9 and 12. And the first woe is past, and behold, the second woe cometh quickly, and the third woe cometh quickly. This indicates the first of the three described woes has already occurred, and the remaining two are imminent. No, that doesn't mean that. Okay. Revelation 9, verse 12, King James Version. There's not two more wars imminent. It means the First World War, 1914 to 1918, has passed, and behold, there come two woes. Oh yeah, from Revelation 9 verse 12. Yeah, there's two wars after World War One. Of course there is. World War Two, which was of course. Revelation 9 verse 12. One woe is past, which is 1914 to 1918, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. Second World War was 1938 to 1945. That's already passed as well. All right, now we've come to we came to Revelation 11:14. The second woe is past. World War II is over, right? That was during the 40s. And behold, the third woe cometh quickly, and that's coming right now. And this, because the devil knows he has but a short time, this is going to lead to that. All these skirmishes in Europe, America, India, so-called Middle East, West Asia, all different parts of the world. They're all going to come together in the valley of Jehoshaphat, or Yahweh Yahweh's judgment. And they're going to get down. They're going to get down, James Brown. They're going to get down. Get down. Okay, and even if Esau, wants to keep the world intact and doesn't want to go to war, hypothetically speaking, the Lord is going to make them go to war because the Lord is going to send Yahweh is going to send His Son Yahweh Shai, you know, and the Most High Yahweh is going to watch, you know, um, with a smile on His face, watching His Son, you know, bash the heathens into smithereens, man. All praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. Shalom Babakar. All praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahshai Bashem Kodash. Okay, these things are gonna increase, man. Just watch.